I need a home studio? And if so, what equipment is required?
Oh my gosh, a home studio. That is such a big topic. I spend a lot of time thinking about it, advising people on it. As much as I wish that the home studio trend wasn't the big thing, although I am doing this interview from my own home studio, so I am benefiting from it. But we are in the home recording renaissance. We really are. So now the reality of the situation is, Dan, whereas 10, 15 years ago, you needed hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of equipment to have a home studio. Now for a pretty modest investment, couple $100, you can have a recording setup at your house so that you don't have to travel. As much as I want my studio to be the place where everyone has to go to record, it's just not the case. And more of my production clients are coming to me with smaller budgets that can't afford a big fancy studio and tighter time frames where they don't have the time to find their voiceover talent, schedule time whenever the studio can fit them in, and then travel to that studio, record the voiceover. There are lots of times where I'll get a call from a client saying, hey, we got this job, it's coming down the pike, there's not a lot of time. Can you just have a couple of your home studio guys read this small blurb of the script? We're going to pick someone this afternoon, and can they re-record, or can they record the whole job tomorrow morning? And so a home studio is a must. Also for auditions too. You don't have to travel to the casting agency. You can be auditioning for projects in New York. And if it records in New York, you only go up there should you book it. You don't have to travel, which is great. So you will need a home studio. It's just the reality of the thing. But the good thing is, because we are in the recording renaissance, there are many different options, and you can find something that fits your needs and your budget, because we're starting a business here. So your startup costs are something you need to consider. And if you don't have a huge budget, then you start with something modest and you build. So let's get into the components. The basic component, the microphone. I don't know if it's in the shot, but I'm speaking into a microphone. And it's the part that captures your voice. But there's also, let's just say, Dan, that we're assuming everyone has a computer, because you will need one if you don't, but most people do these days. So assuming you have a computer, they make what's called a USB. They make USB microphones these days, where it's a microphone, a USB cable comes right out of the microphone and right into your laptop or your computer, and you can record directly through your computer's USB connection. Is it the most versatile and highest quality recording? No, but it's definitely the simplest and most cost-effective. And I know people who have started out that way and worked their way up eventually once they got money coming in. So you will need a mic. You will need, I would say, a decent set of headphones that are studio monitor headphones, because you're going to want to hear what you're recording somewhat accurately. If you're just using your laptop speakers, they don't sound good. They're tiny. They can't. It's like your iPhone speaker. It can't play low frequencies. So if you're recording your voiceover and it sounds awesome, but the air conditioner is going in the other room and it's making this low, rumbly frequency that the mic is picking up, if you're monitoring on, if you're listening back on your computer speakers, you're never going to hear that. And if you send that off to a producer who is listening to your audition in a studio that has a subwoofer, it's going to sound like your voiceover is from the deck of the Starship Enterprise or something, with the low rumble in the background. So a set of at least monitor headphones are essential. You want to think of your monitors as your windshield. You got to see where you are. And then the other components to a home studio are more of the environmental factors too as well. You need a relatively quiet place to record, and you also need a relatively echo-free place to record. We've all heard those cheap cable commercials late at night where it sounds like the guy is just recording in his office and it's all echoey. Yeah, that's because the room wasn't treated for sound, so it doesn't sound good. You can tell it sounds cheap. And so there are options though, Dan. I know this sounds like a lot. I'm throwing a lot at you, but it's an opportunity to get creative. I have people there's a student of mine, he's on his 7th audiobook in 1 year. He's only been doing voiceover 1 year since he took my classes, and he's on his 7th audiobook, and he actually is recording out of his walk-in closet. That's where he set his which is perfect if it's quiet, because there's all the clothes hanging around, and they absorb all of the sound reflections, so there's no echo. I was shocked when he sent me a test recording of his setup, because it sounded like it was in a professional studio. So there are ways you can get creative to make sure you're in a relatively quiet and relatively echo-free space.